going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Golf is back to the show. The NFL draft is done stealing its thunder. We're on to CJ CUP Byron Nelson at TPC Craig Ranch. Sam's, how's it going?
Going well. Ended last week. I swung a little bit on Rory and Shane to win the Zurich, so that worked out well for me. But we're back. We're back in Texas.
Yes, we are back in Texas. Hilariously enough, people were kind of joking around that Scottie Scheffler had planned this so that he could be back in the field since they were going to be back in his hometown there. But no Scottie, no Burns. I feel like their wives have been in labor now for I don't fucking know, 5 weeks. So there was obviously a lot of drama around the Masters. We are now weeks removed from that. There will be no Scottie, no Burns, who are two guys that would typically probably be catching my eye here. Of course, 2023 champion Jason Day in the field. KH Lee obviously won the 2 years before that. It's kind of, how do I say this in a nice way? It's like I call it lettuce. It's like a vanilla course a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
Second shot course, obviously suited for these long drivers, but distance also hasn't stopped players from contending. So because it can turn into basically a putting contest and a birdie fest. So you have to be careful what you weigh. What were you looking at before we jump right into these? What were you really looking at? Obviously, approach is something you're going to want to hit your irons and wedges very well, but what else?
Yeah, so I looked at approach, obviously. But for a course like this, where you don't need to be accurate because there's really wide fairways. Basically, what I was looking at is how close can these guys get to the pin? Going for the green, par 5 scoring, because there are some longer par 5s on this course. Proximity from 200 plus out. But outside of that, there's really not much. Like you said, this ends up turning into a putting contest most of the time. Jason Day won at 23 under here last year and really didn't, need much. When he won this, it's not a course that requires a lot of different things to win. I guess if that makes sense, a lot of the shots are from 175 to 250 yards, approach shots. Distance is pretty key. It helps. Bombing gouge is a pretty popular style here because the rough isn't, especially penal. And then it's all about how you putt on these bent grass greens. So I basically looked for guys that I know can dial in their irons, really get it close, because these are bigger greens. You don't want to be putting from too far away. If you get on the green, you really kind of want to be dialed in here. And looking at courses like Vidanta Vallarta from the Mexico Open and the Puerto Rico Open, some of those more like coastal windy courses, that fits really well in this Texas windy weather, where everything's really flat and there's not a lot of defense.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get right into the smash or passes. We're going to start it out with the love of my life. Smash or pass, Jordan Spieth, top 20 plus 100. Now, Jordan Spieth too, since they, there is the week in between the majors, you're used to seeing a stronger field because guys will, try to finish up some form right before the major. That's not the case this year, but Jordan Spieth is using it because he needs to figure some shit out a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And this is a good place for him to figure some stuff out. He's played it 11 times. He's been playing it since it was called the HP Byron Nelson, all the way back in 2011 or 2012. And he's had a pretty decent run at this tournament. No wins here, but he does have 2 top 10s in his last 2 appearances. And he's only missed 1 cut in the 11 tries that he's had. The kicker is that he's only had 4 top 20s in those 11 tries. So this is an interesting one for me. I actually labeled this as a smash because I think this is a really good spot for Jordan to kind of get back on the horse, so to speak. He hasn't been great. He's only had 1 top 20 in his last 7 tourneys, but this is a good course to get back on the horse. It's easy scoring conditions. He ranks 5th in strokes gained total on bent grass greens, and in the top 30 in strokes gained putting on those greens. We always know Jordan's going to be creative and really kind of go for it and kind of attack every course. He's never going to let, the course just come to him. He's going to attack the course. So, with that said, he ranks 5th in birdie or better percentage, par 5 scoring. So he grades out well for me. And in a tournament that's pretty devoid of star power, Will Zalatoris obviously withdrew this morning. Smart on his part. And Spieth is now the top favorite in the field at 14-1. You're getting the top guy in the field at even money to be in the top 20, and that's a bet that I'm going to take all day, every day. So this is a smash for me.
It's a smash for me as well. I don't know how else I'm going to be playing him. I'm sure at some point in a moment of weakness, I will end up getting there outright because I will smack myself if I am not on Spieth the week that he does win. I think this is at least a course too where he can just fucking play golf and not get as
exactly
cute. You know what I mean? Like, he tends to hurt himself. So I think this is the perfect course for him to just play golf, like iron out some issues and, keep it low.
Yep.
It sucks because the number is not great, obviously, on the outright. I would go top 10 with him too. I think I'm safe to give that out on here. I wouldn't be surprised if I find myself on a little bit more because he was like 23rd in my model, but he's always like first in my like Lady Boner model.
Yeah, for him, like it's interesting. Some of the things I put with him, is that they just don't apply to a course like this. Typically, when we're talking about Spieth, it's at much more difficult courses where there's a lot more volatility, and I just don't see there being much volatility at all. There's just nobody at this field that I would recommend, taking that has win equity besides Jordan Spieth, especially in Dallas, where he's just so used to playing at this point.
For sure. All right, we'll get into the next one here. Smash or pass. Nate Lashley, top 40 plus 120.
Ooh, top 40. That's very interesting to me. I like Lashley's game for this course a lot. It goes up pretty well. I didn't get the chance to look at him for this. I like that I'm getting put on the spot here.
No, it's fine. I have dug a little bit too far, probably. I'm pretty deep into the Nate Lash. I think I'm going to get there outright, but each way, he's 100-1. I would probably bet the each way on Bet Rivers, which is kind of soft. They don't typically do that. No offense, I just personally don't do it. I'd rather just get all my money when I can. First round leader, 80-1 also interests me, but I think that top 40 plus 120 is a really nice,
it is.
It's like a simple number. He's finished 17th and 23rd here. He closed with rounds of 64. He was 4th in strokes gained approach last year here. His partner sucked last week, but he played well. He's top 25 in, strokes gained approach around the green, tee to green. He's just playing really well. And I don't think that top 40 is asking a lot for Nate Lashley. And I also think he's someone that can truly contend here.
Yeah, he's a pretty, average to slightly above average putter here. Ranks in the top 40 in strokes gained putting on bent grass greens over the last few years. 8th in going for the green birdie percentage, which is really interesting to me on a course that you're going to need to, put the ball on the green from 200 plus out. So that's a stat I like to look at here over on BetSperts. There's definitely some interest there for me. That's something I'm going to look at this week with the last week.
Let's go to this one. Will be with the defending champion. Smash or pass. Jason Day, outright 22-1.
Now, every so often I get a number that I just absolutely despise. And this number has gone down since I started writing
is that
about
what it's sitting at?
Yeah, I think it's at 20-1 now.
Okay.
DraftKings has him at 20-1. Yes, and so does Hard Rock. So those are the two I look at. So this is a pass for me. Last year the number was like 50-1 on Jason Day, which is perfectly appropriate for the form that he's been in for the past month and a half. He looked really good at Pebble Beach and the Genesis. 2 top 10s, a 6th and a 9th. And then he's just followed up the last 5 tournaments with nothing. 1 top 20 in those last 5. And I just haven't been able to get there with the form. He's got a really bad 2-way miss right now And we saw it really, really come through at Augusta, where he was just crushing himself, hitting it left when he needed to hit it right, pushing it right when he needed to hit it left. It was just all over the place for him. And then I saw it again at the RBC Heritage as well. Like he's trying to find something in his game. I know we said with Spieth, this is a place for him, guys to find some stuff in their game, because this is a really easy course. And this is obviously, a place where he's going to be the defending champ, but he's also going to have that pressure as the defending champ. Was his first win in a little while, last year. So I'm really not sure that I can get there with Jason Day at really any number. Like his, top 20 is plus 115. It's the third worst number in the field right now. I'm not sure I can get there at all with him. So I'm going to fade this.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on it as well, which pains me. And I think the public, though, is everyone's starting to fade him. So in that case, you might find me getting back on like a top 20 plus 115, something like that. But unlike Lashley, he was like fourth in my model. Day rated out fucking horribly for me. Like not something that usually I can go against myself most of the time. This one was like not great. He is top 20, off the tee, around the green. His putting is what has been very good lately.
And it always is with him.
Yeah, it always is. So I don't know. He's just not in.
I will say Day's win top 20 probability is all the way down at 29% on my bet rhythm model, which is like 80th in this field. It's not good.
Gross.
So it's not something I'm looking at right now at all.
I really desperately need my season long team to get a fucking win though. Like I am going to owe.
You have Valimaki. You have Valimaki on your season long team, right?
Yeah, but come on.
He kind of rates out well for this field.
He rates out fine. But don't worry.
You'll see why I'm thinking of that in a little while.
Yeah. Well, if he rates out fine, I promise you, and he's on my team, he's just not going to fucking do well. Like I literally cannot. They're mocking me nonstop in my league. We'll go into the next one. I think there's two players that rate out well for everyone. There's two players that are in very good form for everyone. I think you need to pick one or the other if you're going to bet on these guys. It's Tom Hoge and it's Keith Mitchell. I don't think you could be on both. Pick your fucking poison. They're both going to hurt your feelings. How do you want your feelings to get hurt? So for this, we're going to go with smash or pass, Tom Hoge, top 20 plus 150.
I'm smashing it all day. I mean, Hoge. Now, here's the issue: is Hoagie's very, very popular right now. I've seen multiple.
I think Mitchell is more popular.
Really, I have not seen many people on Mitchell this week.
Maybe I'm making that up to make myself feel better.
It's very possible. You do that sometimes, but I do really like Hoge because he's very good. For this field in approach, it's just absolute dimes right now, but he's really gaining off the tee as well. And that really interests me with him. The number was good. I actually played him outright yesterday at 35-1 before it dropped down to where it is now. So I was definitely in on it from the top. I really wanted to get there with him for this. And honestly, this is a crazy stat that my buddy PGA Splits 101 found. And the best players in this field over the last 3 months, when combining strokes gained approach per round, strokes gained putting per round, and the last 3 months, strokes gained approach and putting together, Tom Hoge absolutely laps this field in those two metrics together. He's gained 2 strokes on approach and putting together. And then the next best person in this field is at 1.12. So that's a whole nearly stroke more approach and putting than any other player in this field. And he's played 30 rounds in that range, which is top of the line. So he is absolutely out there for me. I'm going to have an outright on him. I'm going to bet him every single way that I possibly can that has value this week.
I am too. And we'll
get our feelings hurt together.
No, because you know what? It's fucking annoying because everyone hasn't been on him, and now everyone wants to be on him. But I was on him before the crowd was. He's also playing great from 200 plus yards.
Yep.
I mean, he's only had 2 missed cuts this year.
Yep.
2 top 10s, 7 top 25s. I think the pressure of trying to get into the Masters caught up with him towards the end there, but he's just in such good form, and his approach game is unbelievable. He's putting fantastic. I mean, you name the metric, and he's in at least somewhere in the top 20 at least at bare minimum. So, first round leader interests me. Top 20 interests me. Top 5 interests me. Like, I am all in on Tom Hoge. I'm ready to get fucking hurt again. But, you know, kind of in years past, like, he just is so, I hate saying this, but he's due. He's so
he really is
to get that win.
He really is. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for him. You know, this is just a course that sets up really, really well for him. You know, he's not one of the longest guys off the tee. He's not the most accurate either. He's not going to be punished by, you know, his wayward driver here. You don't have to be that good around the green either. That's not going to hurt him. His putting and his approach is what has been really, really good. He's probably been one of the best 5 players in approaches for the last like 2 months.
Yeah.
Maybe top 3. Like, he's just been dialed every time we watch him.
Yeah, it's so annoying. And he was like, I feel like he's in the best form that he's been in. Like, this is just, it has to happen eventually. It's going to be when we all pop off of him. And I'm going to be pissed because I've used him in a couple one and dones. And now I can't use him again because I would have loved to save him for this week. But whatever. So I'm in on Tom Hoge. I'm not out on Mitchell either. I think I'm more likely to play Mitchell in DFS is where that's a fair
take.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Next one, smash or pass, Jake Knapp, top 40 plus 125.
All right, so I dug a little deep for this one. But you know one of my favorite things.
Or grasping with straws.
Oh, yeah. You know, one of my favorite things in the world is to rely very heavily on course comp history. On courses like this. On courses like this where there's not a lot of discernible stats, it's probably my favorite thing to do because if you have guys playing similar courses, it's just, you know, it's what they're comfortable with. It's the shot shape. It's what feels right. And I really think there's 2 courses beyond most of them that come into play here. One of them is Vidanta Vallarta, the Mexico Open host. And the other one is Grand Reserve, who hosts the Puerto Rico Open. A third one that I really like is TPC Scottsdale as well from the WM Phoenix Open. Same design connection. Yep. That was such a weird fake off.
That's what you come up with.
Anyways, we all know Jake Knapp won the Mexico Open this year. Absolutely was a stick with his irons from everywhere. He does better on par 4s and par 5s. I'm not too worried with him. You know, his par 5 birdie or better percentage is 12th in this field, which is really nice. Top 30 in putting. His putting's gotten a lot better since he hasn't been relying on his irons to be a stick as much since Mexico. And then he's looked really good. You know, obviously the guy has one of the highest ball speeds in the field. Guy hits at 192 miles an hour, which is just absolutely still wild to me with how easy he swings, hits the ball like 340. So he's going to have that bomb and gouge really working for him. And he has a good comp course history. Mexico winner, T28 at the WM Phoenix Open. He can get up there in putting. He ranks top 30, 200 plus proximity, ranks 14th. So I really like Knapp to go and, you know, make it in the top 40 here. It's been a little bit of a tough couple months for him since the win. Has not played well. You know, we thought that he would be, you know, one of those guys that would kind of sink down to like the 30 to 40 to 1 odds on a weekly basis. Has not been, you know, ever since Mexico and the Cognizant, has not registered a single finish better than T45. But I'm not worried because he continues to gain on approach, and he's only missed or not gained on approach in one tournament since the Mexico win, and that was at the Players. So if he can get the putting stick under control, I'm really confident in what he can do here.
I'm going to pass. I don't know why. That's a vibe. That's a vibe thing. We're just going to vibe check. Like, there's nothing about his game right now, like, not to like. I'm just out for, like, Smalls reasoning, which is, like, he didn't read out well. His approach game is good. I mean, top 40, though, it is, like, a decent number. I'll have to go back and look a little bit more. But for right now, I'm going to pass.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to let you pick your poison for the next one to make sure I don't overlap your... Do you want a Seamus Powers one or an Adam Scott one?
Ooh, I'll take a Seamus Power one.
Great. Lovely. I was hoping you would say that. Okay. Seamus Smash or Pass, Seamus Powers, top 30 plus 140.
I blind clicked him to win outright yesterday, so I'm in on this.
I did the same exact thing before we got on here. So
I really like Power for this. He's got really good course history here. He's finished in the top 20 in each of the last 3 seasons here. He's been in good form recently as well, which is kind of surprising. You know, obviously we saw him play really well a few weeks ago at the RBC Heritage. And he's been in pretty decent form here. T12, T26 at Valspar, T21 at the API, T31 at the Genesis, T31 at Pebble. So these are some hard courses and some good results from him. He's gained in each of his last 5 on approach. He's gained in 5 of his last 6 in putting. I'm with it here for him. You know, he's a guy that, you know, is very easygoing. He's not going to wow you off the tee. He's got a very measured, very, average to above average game with him. And as long as he doesn't blow up on one hole, he can kind of keep it going steamroll throughout. So I'm with this top 30 all day. Yeah,
I am with it as well. Since he had that T21, he's kind of been putting it on. His approaches looked good. You know, his iron play is just finally shaping up. He also putts well on bent grass. So obviously like that here for him. Going to hit the first round leader as well. I feel like I've been wanting to bet him for the last couple weeks. So now I'm just going to pull the trigger. I mean, he's been a top 20 every year here, including a top 10. There's a lot to like here with him. He's starting to get a little too popular, but that's okay. We're going to get over that. Before we jump into our quad Ds, doing another Splash Sports contest, that link will be in the description. $12 entry, 3 max entries. You pick 6 golfers. The worst one gets dropped.
And I am absolutely free money in that. I put 3 entries into a 12-person field 2 weeks ago and lost all 3 of them. So I am free money. So come take my money.
See it. Where are you going with your one and done?
So my one and done, I'm just gonna say the name because I have another bet on him that I will explain everything later. But my one and done for this is Steven Jaeger this week.
Okay.
I'll let you go.
I just can't stand him. He was like second in my model, and
I love Jaeger. You know me. You know I'm a Jaeger fan.
Yeah. Maybe first round leader. I don't know if I could get.
I'll detail why when we get to dad bets.
Okay,
he's also a dad bet.
One and done. I'll do something fun here because I decided I was gonna pick it once I
imagine you have like a list of guys that you're seeing who can be the most dramatic with your one and done pick.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be too dramatic. I'm gonna go Alex Noren.
That is really dramatic, and I hate it.
Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with it. What about your dad bet?
My dad bet is Jaeger top 30 minus 110. Is it still minus 110? It is minus 115 now, but really love him, to go here. He has a 10.4% chance to win on rhythm, which is one of the top numbers in this field per their AI model. He's got 2 top 20s and a T38 and 4 tries here. So he's got the course history. This is his best season so far. He has a top 3 at Torrey Pines. He's got a top 3 at the Mexico Open. He's got a win. He beat Scotty. He beat Steph's dad. He can go low here. He's got 4 rounds of 65 or better, which is 6 under on this par 71 in those last 2 years at this course. So, when you need to go low, there's a chance that this guy can just rattle off birdie after birdie after birdie. Ranks in the top 25 in birdie or better percentage. He's become a really good putter. And the thing I like best about him is he's added a lot of speed to his driver. So he used to be, in the 285 to 290 range. Now he's up over that 300 mark on average yards for his drive. So I'm all there with Steven Jaeger. It's been one of my favorite golfers to watch this year. And I refuse to be on him when he wins again. Or not be on him when he wins again.
I refuse to believe that Steven Jaeger can fucking win twice in a month. There's just no fucking way. Like, that's just simply not happening.
Cage Lee won this event 2 years in a row. Like, can we just...
I just don't think Jaeger is winning twice in one season. Like, that's just fucking crazy. There's no way. He just doesn't have the composure for it. He's going to win this week, like, by a million fucking strokes. All right.
He is.
It's so annoying. He rated out really well for me, so I'm just going against it. I'm going to do a double dad here because there's still some bets I want to give out. So one of them is Hubbard, top 40, minus 115. His distance is whatever. But you look at everything else, like par 5 scoring, he's actually in pretty good form. He's made the cut in 12 events played, 4 top 25s, 2 top 10s, and a 4th at Pebble. He's just playing he's playing like good golf. And I think a top 40 at minus 115 is a nice number.
His putting made me absolutely want to puke on Sunday watching it. That was might have been the worst putting. I've never seen a pro get up and out of so many putts in one round. Like, he did it like 5 times where he was just like, okay, I hate that. Like, as soon as he hit the ball, and it absolutely cost him and Brem a win. But that's just my piece.
There's quite a few bets I like. All right, I'm
being dramatic.
Now you're being. I'm gonna rattle through some after. I'll get there. I'll give one more dad bet. CT Pan, top 40 plus 110. 4th in his debut. Finished round 4? He had shot a 62 last year. Mm-hmm. His approach has just looked solid. He's kind of coming into form the last 2 weeks. Everyone that knows me knows I'm just a CT girly. Like, I love this guy. I love to bet on him. His putting's solid this year. He's top 25 in strokes gained approach, around the green, tee to green, total. A lot to like here. So I'll give those 2 out, and then I'll rattle through some at the end. Do you have a dumb fuck bet?
I do. I do have a dumb fuck bet this week. It's Sungjae Im to finish in the top 5.
In the top 5?
At plus 600. Okay. Yes, it is. So I've been going off my rhythm model that I built this week, and Sungjae is just randomly at the top of my model. His top 5 plus 600. It's got a 22% win probability. That's the best number by 10%. Of all top 5 bets, which is just absolutely wild to me. But okay, we're going with it. Like, the guy's top 25 in par 5 birdie or better percentage. He's normally an approach wizard. It's been off a little bit, but we've seen some moments in the past couple weeks where maybe he's gotten back to form. I would have if I was him, I would have recommended that he take some time off, over the last couple months and kind of just, spend some time at the range, just kind of keep playing tournaments. But he's a terrific putter. It's always been one of his calling cards. And his odds are so depressed. This is like the best time to take him in a field where there is no clear, top dog. He's all the way down the leaderboard at 28-1. Like, and realistically, I would take him over a handful of the other guys. Ben On, Minwoo, Adam Scott, Alex Noren. These guys have no win equity. Like, Sungjae at least has some win equity at this point. And he's a better golfer, pure. And again, this is a good place for golfers to figure out their shit. So that is my dumb fuck bet of Sungjae top 5, 6-1.
I think I'll probably play him in some matchups because I do think that he is a guy that really can win any single week. It just depends. So you thought that was dumb. Mm-hmm. Wait till I
got a dog bet that's even stupider.
Oh, this is probably the stupidest bet. Maybe since I don't even know what.
Since we took Sam Ryder a few weeks ago and said he could win when he missed.
Well, here's a golfer no one even knows his name. Kelly Craft. Ever heard of him?
That is, yeah, sadly.
Yeah, you've heard of him.
Sadly, I have.
Top 40 plus 320.
Oh my
really
God,
nothing to love here. Last time he played it, 279. He had a round of 77 though. So if you take away the 77, it would have been really nice. T11 last week, we can't really use that because it was a partner thing. Lots of cuts going on and has barely played, but he did rate out well. You look at birdies are better. And listen, a top 40 plus 320, it's like impossible for me not to throw a dart there.
Right. It's like me taking Hayden Buckley just because the number's plus 350.
Oh, I think it's worse than taking that. I think it's so much worse. Don't even give me any credit. Like, this is deranged and sick, but I made so much money off the NFL draft. I'm like, here, let me just donate it back to you all.
I keep getting these deja vus whenever we do this. Every 3 weeks we have this where one of us wins a huge bet or our amount of bets, and then we go on this show and just burn it all away. And then we say we're going to do it, and we just burn it all away.
Yep, absolutely. What is your dart or dog?
My dart / dog / awful bet.
Yeah.
I'm looking for his T40 because I really just wanted to know what the number was. It's Nico Echeverria 200-1.
I don't hate it.
It's very interesting. I'm still trying to find the T40 for some reason. I just can't locate it. There it is. Plus 210.
Okay.
I like that a lot better, by the way. But Puerto Rico Open, top comp course. Obviously, he won it in 2023. He finished T15 a couple of weeks ago. He was T24 at the Mexico Open this year. It's not the longest, and he's not the flashiest. He's a solid putter, though. He can grind it out, on a course like this. So it's worth it. Like, I was looking for guys in like that 200-1 range that had any win equity whatsoever and had like shown something in like the last 2 years. He was basically the only one. So I'm like, okay, that works. There's not many stats there. It's just all vibes.
That's all right. I'm just going to stick with Lashley for my dart at 100-1 because for some reason he is my darling. The last one I want to bring up before we get out of here is I do like Tom Kim top 20 at plus 150. Bet Rivers does have a plus 163 if you have that book. He's yet to have a top 15 this year, and we all know I love to break trends. Why not this week? Going off the vibes here. He's nice and rested. Last time we saw him, T18 at RBC Heritage. He has a T34 and a T17 here. If his number creeps, it's at 28-1. Should he get to 30, you might see me adding him as an outright, but I'm going to start with this top 20. I think this is a good week for him to finally get his first top 15 this year.
I have a question for you before we head out of here.
Okay. I don't know I want to answer.
Data Golf has Siwoo Kim as their top ranked golfer in terms of win equity for this week. Mm-hmm. What is your take on Siwoo?
No.
It's just a flat no.
Nope.
Is there a reasoning there? Is it?
No. I think because no one will shut up about him. So now I think you ruined everything. I don't even want to look into him. I don't remember seeing him in my model. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm just out. I just said no for me. Now he's probably going to win because I was such a little brat about it. But it is.
No. Siwoo never wins. Trust me. I've been going through this for several years now. He just never wins.
Yeah.
I will say that some of my rhythm board top picks for winners: Hubbard 55-1, Maverick McNeely 50-1, Jaeger, Aaron Rye is randomly up there.
Aaron Rye will end up on my card. I just don't know how yet.
I think first round leader is always the way to play Aaron Rye. That's typically like my tried and true.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Yeah, it's like tried and true. Like that's always like a safe one. Ben Griffin's a really interesting one as well. Like someone who I was just scrolling through and seeing. But yeah, I just wanted to tilt you one more time before we get out.
All right, that's fine. I'll allow it. Make sure you go put your Kelly Craft bets in. We will get out of here. We'll see you next week. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review if you're listening, and we'll see you next week.
Watch him make it, break it, break it.